Yo, what is up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It's your host, Annie here. Look, let's be real for a second. If you've been in the anime community as long as I have, you think you've seen it all. We've had guys reincarnated as vending machines. We've had battleships turning into cute girls. Honestly, the weirdness bar is set pretty high. But every once in a while, a franchise comes along that makes you pause and go, wait, people are actually watching this? And then you watch it. And you realize the production value is insane, the Sakuga is off the charts, and suddenly you're crying over a fictional character's training arc at 3 a.m. Today, we aren't talking about your typical shonen jump hit. We are diving into a rabbit hole, or I should say a racetrack, that has completely taken over Japan and is generating more money than some small countries. So, make sure you smash that like button, hit subscribe so you don't miss out on the next deep dive, and let's get into it. Okay, picture a sports franchise that's so huge it rakes in billions of dollars. Now, what if I told you it wasn't about football or basketball, but about anime girls who are basically the spirits of legendary Japanese racehorses? It sounds wild, I know, but this is the story of Umamusume, and it's one of the strangest and most successful things to happen in media in a long, long time. I mean, that's the big question, right? The whole idea sounds like a total fever dream, but you just can't argue with the success. So today, we're gonna dig in and break down exactly how these anthropomorphic horse girls didn't just take over Japan, but are now galloping across the world, building up incredible hype and even more incredible profits. So here's our game plan. We'll start with what these billion-dollar horse girls even are. Then, we'll follow a real underdog on her gritty race to the top. See why this is way more than just a game. Look at the mind-blowing numbers behind it all. And finally, give you the final verdict. All right, so to really get what's going on here, we have to start with the absolute basics. What in the world is an Umamusume? Okay, so here's the deal. In this world, the souls of famous real-life racehorses get reborn as girls. And yep, they've got the horse ears and tails to prove it. They train and race on tracks, just like their namesakes. But then, and here's the kicker, after a big win, they put on a whole idol concert. It's this wild mix of intense sports drama and upbeat J-pop. And the most important part is that every single character is deeply based on a real horse's life story, personality, and even its rivals. And you gotta understand, this is not just some one-off anime. Umamusume, from the media giant Cygames, is a full-blown empire. It's all built around a massively popular mobile gacha game. You know, the kind where you try to collect different characters. From there, it just exploded. We're talking multiple anime seasons, movies, a ton of manga spin-offs, and even sold-out live concerts where the voice actors perform. It's a true powerhouse. To really get a feel for why people connect with this stuff so much, let's zoom in on one of the most popular parts of the franchise, the spin-off series, Cinderella Grey, and its incredible main character, Oguri Cap. Man, that quote really says it all, doesn't it? She isn't just a good racer. The show frames her as this unstoppable force of nature, an absolute anomaly that crashes into the racing scene and just changes everything. And that feeling, the sense that you're watching a living legend in the making, is what makes her story so incredibly addictive. So who is this Oguri Cap? Well, off the track, she's a super quiet, kind of deadpan girl from the countryside who has a comically bottomless stomach. It's a great running gag, but the second a race starts, it's like a switch flips. She turns into this stoic, hyper-focused machine with a running style that's just, well, monstrous is the only word for it. She just devours the track and leaves everyone else in the dust. And her entire journey is a faithful retelling of the real Oguri Cap's legendary career. And this right here, this is the real heart of the franchise. This isn't just some made-up fantasy. Oguri Cap's Cinderella story is grounded in a very real and honestly a very touching piece of history. The actual horse had so much trouble with its legs at birth, It couldn't even stand up. It's moments like this, where they pull real-life struggles into the drama, that take this show from a simple cartoon to a legit sports epic. Now, if you happen to be familiar with the main Umamusume anime, you'll notice right away that Cinderella Grey has a totally different vibe. The creators made some really smart choices to give this story its own unique, more grounded feel. So, where the main series is super bright, colorful, and leans hard into the idol aesthetic, Cinderella Grey is, well, it's literally grayer. The color palette is much more muted, which perfectly matches its serious tone. Instead of a bubbly J-pop song, the opening is a driving J-rock anthem. And the story doesn't start at some fancy elite academy. It begins in the rough-and-tumble regional circuits. It just feels less like a cute idol show and more like a classic gritty sports drama. Plus, the animation is incredible, with this seamless blend of 2D and CGI that makes the races feel so intense. But you know, what truly sets this whole franchise apart isn't just the story, it's what the story is built on. It has this deep respect and does meticulous research into the actual sport of horse racing. And trust me, the fans definitely notice. The attention to detail is just mind-blowing, right down to the smallest things. For example, take a look at the ornaments the horse girls wear in their ears. That's not just a random design. If the ornament is on their right ear, it means the original real-life horse was a stallion. If it's on the left, the horse was a mare. It's such a tiny detail, but it speaks volumes about how much the creators care about their source material. And that level of respect has had a huge real-world impact. This quote is from Seiki Tabara, the actual jockey for the legendary horse Tokai Teo. His horse's dramatic comeback story was the focus of the second anime season. He said he was moved to tears that a whole new generation was learning about and celebrating his horse's story decades later. For the people in the racing world, this isn't just entertainment. It's a beautiful tribute to their legacy. So you've got this powerful emotional connection, right? Well, that connection has translated into one of the most explosive financial successes in modern media. It's time to look at the numbers. $2.5 billion. And that figure is mostly just from the mobile game, and almost entirely within Japan. That is an absolutely staggering amount of money. It puts Umamusume in the absolute top tier of mobile games globally. And it just shows you that the fan base isn't just massive, it's incredibly dedicated. And success here goes way beyond just revenue. The game won Best Game of 2021 in Japan. Its super catchy theme song, Umapyoi Densetsu, became a viral meme and got gold certification for over 50 million streams. Even the Japan Racing Association has praised the franchise for getting new people interested in the sport. But maybe the coolest part of all is that the series inspired fans to donate to charities that care for the real retired racehorses the characters are based on. How awesome is that? So, we've covered the wild premise, the emotional core, and the mind-boggling success. But at the end of the day, does that mean Cinderella Grey is actually for you? Ultimately, the insane success of Umamusume proves that there's a huge appetite for adaptations that treat real-life history with respect, with passion, and with a ton of creativity. It somehow managed to turn the history of horse racing into a compelling billion-dollar epic. Which really just leaves us with one last thought. What other incredible true story is out there just waiting for its moment in the anime spotlight?